they say yes. What do we do next? So with all the stores that I was in, there was kind of 3 different ways that the business owners liked to go about selling my jewelry and buying it. One was wholesale, which is kind of the one I'm talking about. So that's like my catalog. They shop it, they send me back a Google sheet of the quantity of the jewelry that they want, and they're buying wholesale price. So basically I would advertise, this necklace is worth 48, so you can buy it 24. And so they're buying half of your retail price. Then there's consignment, which wasn't my favorite. I felt like I did this with shops in the beginning until I felt like I had a solid core of shops and I didn't have to say yes to everybody. And I was not really into consignment. It was like a 60-40% split. I would come in, I would get paid every 2 weeks. There was more freedom to it because I was able to just kind of bring in whatever I wanted, how much I wanted. I was able to kind of test out certain styles sold. I didn't have to go based off of that core collection I was talking about. I could really bring in whatever I wanted, and I would get paid every like 2 weeks. So it wasn't a bad way to work with shops, but I just liked wholesale because it felt more steady and consistent, and I liked kind of having bigger orders. And then the third way that I sold in shops was definitely like kind of my least favorite, but it was still great like income and was just really nice to have, was I had a booth within like kind of a collective of shops. So I would buy a booth basically inside the store, and that was my space, and I got to just pop it up and put like whatever I wanted and display it the way I wanted, put whatever jewelry I wanted in there, and I was paying for the booth space, and then the shop just kind of sold my jewelry, did all the things, and then they would also take like a 13% commission on top of each sale, and then I would just kind of pick up my check every single month. So it was just like a great steady income as well that was just nice to have. But I would definitely say wholesale was my favorite, but I probably wouldn't anymore because the jewelry that I'm thinking about selling in the future is going to be a bit different. It is going to be a lot more expensive. I plan to be working with sterling silver and real gold, and I don't know if I would put this jewelry in shops unless it was like locked up. Like the jewelry that I was making in that time in my shop worked well for shops because the cost of materials were really low. I was working with brass, I was working with gold filled, which isn't cheap, and I was working with sterling silver wire, which wasn't cheap, but I was doing it in a really strategic way where the styles that I was making were really simplistic, didn't take up a whole lot of material, and didn't cost me as much as, say, the jewelry that I'm making now with gemstones and more advanced techniques that just take me way longer and are way more expensive to make. So depending on what you're selling, you may or may not want to sell in shops. So that's something to think about. So selling in shops worked for my business at that time, and if your business kind of aligns with maybe what my business used to look like back in the day and kind of looks similar to Ruby to Blue, that might be a great income avenue for you. Again, there's just so many different ways to go about selling your jewelry. There's so many different ways to approach selling and your business model, and for Ruby to Blue, that for me was selling as much as I could at the lowest cost. So that's just something to keep in mind. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That is just a breakdown of my experience selling in shops. That is a breakdown of just how I went about it, and I hope this helps. If you guys do like these topics, if you guys do enjoy me yapping about my small business, please let me know in the comments. Let me know what you would want me to talk about next. There's so many different topics within this video that I could just dive into more, like my packaging, how I went about that, how I designed them, what worked. Whatever you guys want, just let me know. I'm here to yap. I'm here to make these videos for you. And if you guys want to learn how to make jewelry, all the jewelry that I used to sell in my shops that did sell really well, you guys can check out my online jewelry school. This is a subscription where you guys can hop in and you get access to all the jewelry projects I've ever created for you, and there's so much in there. And we also just really leveled up in the online jewelry school. We are now setting stones stones and doing pendants, bracelets. I just did a ring. So there is a lot of good stuff in there if you want to learn. Also, like this video if you're enjoying it, please. I need some engagement. I want these videos to get in front of the people that want to see it. So I enjoy any comments, any likes, and of course subscribe for more. Okay, well that wraps it up, and I will see you guys in the next video. Love you. Bye.